Coming up on Fox 44 News at 9, questions are growing on the police response to the deadly shooting at Robb Elementary School.
And Colleen father stood guard at an elementary school the last couple of school days. I'll tell you why he did it.
Also, we'll show you how Central Texans are paying tribute to those killed in Uvalde.
Live from Waco, Temple, and Killeen, your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Fox 44 News at 9. I'm Adam Hooper.
And I'm MG Montemayor.
More details are emerging from this week's horrific shooting attack on an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Police say the gunman was inside the building for approximately 1 hour before Border Patrol agents.
Agents were able to shoot and kill the 18-year-old suspect. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has more.
A frustrated community is demanding answers on how a gunman was able to make it into an elementary school unobstructed. A number of state and federal agencies are piecing together Tuesday's timeline after an 18-year-old gunman opened fire inside Robb Elementary School for roughly an hour. 19 kids are dead, plus 2 teachers. Texas Department of Public Safety officials say the gunman walked onto campus and through an unlocked door. The school safety officer was not there at the time. He then barricaded himself in a classroom. Eventually, Border Patrol agents were able to shoot and kill the gunman.
It was a lot of gunfire in the beginning. During the negotiations, there wasn't much gunfire other than trying to keep the officers at bay. But that could change depending once we analyze the video.
There are also questions why it happened. Investigators are looking into social media for a motive. Meanwhile, memorials in Uvalde are growing as people leave flowers, cards, and pictures. George Rodriguez was seen holding a picture of his late grandson as he tries to make sense of what happened.
Happy-go-lucky, played baseball, little league baseball, tried to teach him a little golf, and he tried at everything.
The FBI field office in Washington, D.C. is now offering support as the investigation ramps up.
We in law enforcement do this work to prevent incidents like what happened in Uvalde from happening, and our resolve to doing exactly that remains steadfast.
The White House announced President Biden and the First Lady will travel here to this small town on Sunday to meet with the victims' families. In Uvalde, Texas, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A Colleen father stood guard all day yesterday and today at his son's elementary school.
In his actions, they've caught the attention of many people. Fox 44's Jessica Rivero spoke with the father today and shares why he did it with us. Jessica.
Adam, after hearing the news of the mass shooting in Uvalde, Eddie Shelby couldn't sleep thinking about his wife and son who attend Sager Elementary right across the street from his house. He says by him standing out there, it made him feel a sense of ease.
I just felt compelled with my training. I am a seasoned security professional and I was available, and I just thought I can't sleep not being able to do something about this.
At 1 in the morning on Wednesday, Eddie Shelby wrote an email to Killeen ISD Superintendent Dr. John Kraft asking him if he could guard the elementary school.
Said I humbly request to provide security services unarmed. I'll be just in front of the school. I don't wish to enter the school, but I just want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for my wife, who is also an employee at that school.
The mass shooting in Uvalde broke the hearts of many people.
The parents are just hurting. They got 2 days of the school left. They want their kids to be happy. They want them to take part in graduation ceremonies. They want them to take part in, at the end of school year parties.
Parents were inspired by Shelby's actions. They also stepped up to help guard the school.
I mean, I had a lady named Constance come out and help me. She was a parent of one of the students here, and she's like, I got your back, and literally took the backside of the school.
Shelby says he hopes by doing this, it will bring the community together in a time of need.
Anybody that's tied to a student at a school, if you have time to volunteer, I think this is great. I think anybody that should come out and stand watch.
Shelby says since the pandemic began, the Watchdog program has been canceled. He hopes next year the program will return so he can continue to volunteer at Killeen ISD. In the studio, Jessica Rivera, Fox 44 News.
Jessica, thanks.
Following one of the deadliest school shootings in America's history, many are asking how they can help those affected.
Today, an event began right here in Central Texas to remember the victims and raise money. Fox 44's Mally Jones shows us how one local organization is rallying the Central Texas community for Uvalde.
For the next 20 days, this Cracker Barrel will be the starting point for a walk, remembering each of the victims killed in Uvalde. This flag has been across the country, from Orange County, California, to Columbine, Colorado, and now to Texas.
I've had it at every event, tragedy, celebration since.
Today is day 1 of 21 for Daniel Chapin's special journey.
21 days, 1 mile for each victim is the very least we can do.
Today is for Miranda. The walk serves as a fundraiser and time of remembrance. Today there were 6 people, and the hope is to increase that number each day.
It's one thing to sit back and have a heart for what's happening. It's another thing to put, words to action.
Chapin says people in Central Texas have questions. They want to know how to help and if there's any hope.
While it's 4.5 hours away, it's happened right here because we have parents and community members that are sending their kids to school.
The walks will start at Cracker Barrel in Temple at 8 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and 6 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. For more information on how to become a part of this walk, visit the link on our website, fox44news.com. In Temple, Mally Jones, Fox 44 News.
29-year-old Peter Wesley Alphonse is behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl. Killeen PD spokesperson says they got the case back on February 11th, and we're told Alphonse picked up the 13-year-old victim and her friend from a school, promising them vape pens. He's accused of driving them to a Killeen home and engaging in sexual contact with the 13-year-old, then taking them back to the school. He has a bond of $100,000.
The Bell County jailer is now behind bars after a discovery of contraband being delivered and sold within the jail. 28-year-old Tommy Rodal has been with the department as a jailer for 4 years and is now charged with engaging in criminal activity and money laundering. Bell County jail staff found his cell phone, chargers, tobacco, and illicit substances during a cell search back on February 5th. Through the investigation, they found several individuals involved in a criminal enterprise concerning contraband being delivered and sold within the jail.
Ukraine's president says Vladimir Putin will not stop with Ukraine and his territorial ambitions. This comes as Russia continues its offensive in Kharkiv. Fox's Trey Yinks takes a look.
The body of a Ukrainian civilian lies on the sidewalk. This afternoon, Russian forces renewed the shelling of central Kharkiv, killing at least 8 people.
The strikes were made by multiple rocket launchers and artillery. It indicates that the enemy has again engaged in treacherously striking the civilian population.
Outgoing artillery fire right now from the northern part of Kharkiv. The battle rages on here as some civilians are returning to find their homes completely destroyed.
The damage in Kharkiv is extensive, with entire apartment blocks destroyed. And as fighting continues across eastern Ukraine, Russian troops are making small territorial gains in areas that still house thousands of civilians. Tatiana Pochivalova stands in front of her destroyed home outside of Kharkiv. Even with shelling nearby, she wants to return.
I want to go back home, but my home is completely destroyed. I hope that someone will rebuild it.
The Ukrainian military is struggling to retain territory further east in the Luhansk province, where Russian troops are estimated to control 90% of the land. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the Latvian parliament Thursday, stressing the urgency of the fight and warning that Russian President Putin won't be satisfied with only invading Ukraine.
In Russia, they openly say that they will not have enough only with Ukraine. They also need the Baltic states, Poland, and other European countries.
This comes as leadership from the G7 is considering a plan to allow Russian oligarchs to purchase sanctions relief and then use that money for reconstruction in Ukraine. In Kharkiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
There are now 9 cases of monkeypox in the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed the case count in a news briefing today. The rare monkeypox cases have been identified in Massachusetts, Florida, Utah, Washington, California, Virginia, and New York. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says all of the cases have been among gay and bisexual men. She urged for an approach that is guided by science and not stigma. Health officials maintain the risk of infection for the general public is low.
Coming up, it's Asian American and Pacific Islander Month and Mental Health Awareness Month. What a local therapist shares about the stigma of mental health in the AAPI community.
And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says our country will continue to expand its cooperation with Taiwan despite Beijing's growing coercion.
This is Fox 44 News at 9 with Adam Hooper, MG Montemayor, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe, and sports with Eric Kelly.